Arsenal back in for Joao Cancelo. Yes, people, welcome back to another Arsenal transfer news video. As always, if you want to be kept up to date with daily Arsenal transfer news vids, this is a place where you have to subscribe down below on my road to 5,000 subscribers, and importantly, hit the bell notification button so you never miss a future video on this channel. And please let me know your thoughts in the comment section regarding Joao Cancelo's potential move to Arsenal. This comes straight from Twitter off the source Transfer News Live, stating this: Arsenal will target move for Joao Cancelo if Kieran Tierney leaves, with the source being the Daily Mail Sport. Now, this of course has a lot of repercussions. This unfortunately comes from the news that Jurrien Timber is going to be out for an extended period with fears that he's ruptured his ACL. There's no official confirmation from Arsenal, but a lot of tier 1 sources on Twitter, reputable sources, have said that they do believe it's going to be a lengthy time out for Jurrien Timber. So I do have to say, first and foremost, hope he recovers soon. It's terrible news to start his Arsenal career. So I think Timber was going to be that revolutionary signing for us. That's something that will allow us to play those 4 centre-backs along the back 4, but still have a midfield presence. Timber was going to be that hybrid player that we desperately needed. The midfield ability that Zinchenko possesses, but also defensive capabilities to match up with it. I thought he was arguably man of the match in the Community Shield for me, and really good in his first 45 minutes against Nottingham Forest as well. So to see him injured and for a lengthy period as well is such a shame, especially given that it was so avoidable. Why did he come out after half time? I don't know. But either way, we have to react and we have to recover. Injuries are part of football. It's all about building an anti-fragile, resilient team that can deal with any sort of injuries. That was the whole point of our transfer window. Everyone talked about Arsenal bulking up the squad, and here we go. It's getting tested early in the season. Obviously, Tomiyasu came off the bench against Forest. That's only because Zinchenko was also injured. But if Zinchenko's back, we do expect him to start. But with Kieran Tierney looking set to leave the football club and Arsenal demanding around 25 to 30 million, does that leave us too short at left back? And does that mean we are reigniting our interest in Joao Cancelo? We of course know Arsenal did have an interest in Joao Cancelo early in the summer. He spent a loan spell at Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich have chosen not to sign the player permanently. They are put off by the price tag. And as long as the window goes, the lower and lower Joao Cancelo's price tag is going. We know Barcelona are also interested, but they've got their own money issues. They're failing to even register İlkay Gundogan at this stage. They'd be ludicrous to try and sign Joao Cancelo while trying to fix their finances at this current stage. So it's looking like a route 1 option for Arsenal right now, especially with Man City looking resigned to losing the player. He didn't get into the squad against Burnley. He didn't even come. He doesn't look like he's got a future here with Pep Guardiola. We know Pep Guardiola is a very ruthless man. If you annoy him, if you speak out of line, if you disrespect the man, you're gone. I don't care if you're the best player on the team or the worst player. Out the door for you. And that's what Joao Cancelo did. I thought a few seasons back he was one of Man City's best players. He was so good in that team, but it just goes to show everyone's replaceable in this Man City side for an absolute fact. And it looks like Joao Cancelo is in his way out of Man City. Of course, if Man City are to sell to Arsenal, that would mean the price goes up. We know Man City probably learnt their lesson. Sent us Zinchenko and Gabriel Jesus. It almost bit them in the backside. We almost went on to almost win the title with those two players being at the heart of our title-winning almost side. So I do think if Arsenal are to sign Joao Cancelo, Man City would be willing to sell, but would want offers far more than what they would expect from other football clubs. So in my opinion, this is how it works, right? I do think Arsenal should sell Tierney. I know it's against a lot of what people think. A lot of people are part of the Tierney fan club. But Tierney does not support Arsenal's system, Arteta's system at Arsenal. He just doesn't. It's not the right fit for him. It's a square peg in a round hole. That's nothing against Tierney. He's just not the right player for Arsenal. It's like Unai Emery. Unai Emery's a fantastic coach. He's proven it at Aston Villa. But he wasn't the right coach for Arsenal. Does that mean Arsenal's a bad club? No. Does it mean Unai Emery's a bad coach? No. It just wasn't a match. It's just how it works sometimes. Equally, I just don't think Tierney's a match for Arteta. So we need to shift him elsewhere. Because if Arteta isn't going to trust him this season, there's no point keeping him around. And as I said previously, he's got some kind of sell-on value. He's not too old. He's not obviously inexperienced. He's got experience in abundance. He's still a valuable player for most clubs in this Premier League and abroad as well. The problem is a lot of clubs right now are trying to sign Tierney on loan. And I know Arsenal's thinking the same as me. A loan deal isn't good enough. We need to sell this guy permanently. We need to raise funds. We need to raise liquidity and capital. We can't be getting these players on loan. Especially players like Tierney who have a decent sell-on value. So I think if Arsenal are to sell Tierney, we should be looking to get 25, 30 million. And if that is the case, I'd be happy to sell him. A lot of people say, no, Timber's out, we can't sell Tierney. But let's be honest about it, right? With Timber injured, he's still not first choice, it's Zinchenko. And after Zinchenko, I think it was clear and obvious that Tomiyasu's second choice, not Kieran Tierney, to go into that team. So if you're 4th choice at Arsenal to start games with everyone fit, you shouldn't beat this team, especially given that you can probably get 25, 30 million for the player. So I would not be against selling Kieran Tierney. If we keep him equally, I wouldn't be against that either. But I do think if you can get 25, 30 million for Kieran Tierney, we should let him go. Now, there's other fullbacks available. Why not test the waters for Benjamin Pavard? I know Manchester United are interested in him, but that deal's not wrapped up yet. If Arsenal come knocking and put the money up front, we could get a deal over the line. I know he wants to leave Bayern Munich, so obviously his price will be driven down given that the player has said he wants to leave the club. The cards are out of Bayern Munich's deck in that sense. So why not make a move for him? Obviously, there's plenty of available options for Arsenal. Sacha Boey as well could be another option. We know Arsenal had the interest in Ivan Fresneda before. So the options are out there. It's just whether Arsenal want to exercise it and make it happen. The biggest thing is, though, this has all come off the back of Jurrien Timber getting injured. It's such a shame. Such a shame. Obviously, we're still yet to hear confirmation from Arsenal regarding the length of the spell out. But even today when they tweeted, they did say it's looking bad. Like, it's not looking good. Case in point for Jurrien Timber, which is a massive shame. But look, it's all part of football. You have to deal with injuries. You have to overcome them. So let's see what comes of it. In other news, it looks like Monaco are looking to come back in for following Balogun. And they are ready to launch a £50 million bid for the player. And if that is the case, you take the money and you run. Thank you for your service, Balogun. If you can get 50 million for that man, you let him go. That's exactly what we wanted. Arsenal holding out for 45 to 50 million. We've kept our nerve, which is fair play, because we know Inter Milan have been sniffing around. Monaco have been sniffing around. Other clubs as well have been sniffing around at Balogun. But we held our nerve. We didn't go in there and go, okay, we can sell him. We know the player wants to leave, but we didn't just sell him outright. We've stuck with our asking price. We've stuck with how much we want to sell him for. If you don't meet that, the player's not going anywhere. So that's the right move by Arsenal. And it looks like Monaco could potentially look to activate that £50 million asking price Arsenal looking for, and the player will be out of the door and going back to Ligue 1 where he performed so prolifically last season for Rennes. And if that's the case, brilliant deal from Arsenal. Now, if we can get that Balogun money through the door, if we get Tierney money through the door, that could be 70 million or so. With 70 million, you can sign some top players in this world. I'm telling you that. We can go back in for Mohamed Kudus, who I've been crying for Arsenal to sign. We can go back in for Michael Elise. We can go in for Joao Cancelo. The thing is, money gives us options. And right now, because we haven't sold enough players, we don't have the options. But, like I've said before, there's still over 2 weeks left this transfer window. Still time for Arsenal to make some movements. I'm interested to see what Arsenal do now that Jurrien Timber is injured. As soon as we hear confirmation from Arsenal of the length of Timber's absence, I'm interested to see what notable journalists say regarding Arsenal's transfer policy. Do we now look to switch and try and sign a top player? Or do we instead try to keep Kieran Tierney at left back and not sell him anymore? I'm interested to see what we find out. But the main thing is Arsenal's still active in this transfer window. And of course, David Raya, his medical is now complete. And I do believe he will be announced as an Arsenal player sooner rather than later. He will be our fourth signing. And he will be announced before we go to play Crystal Palace on Monday, which is fantastic news. I can't wait to welcome him to the Emirates. What a deal as well, by the way. Only £3 million loan moves. It's good for FFP, and obviously it's good as well because it allows Arsenal now to have more money to spend this window because we didn't have to lock up a lot of money in the David Raya purchase. I appreciate everyone that's tuned into this video today. Please do let me know your thoughts on Joao Cancelo's move to Arsenal in the comment section. Do you think it's going to happen? And do you want it to happen? And if you are new around here, make sure you subscribe. My road to 5,000 subscribers. I deliver Arsenal transfer news daily, which you do not want to miss. I'm telling you, you have to subscribe down below. And importantly, also become a member. It's the first thing in the description, and you get exclusive access to every single preview for Arsenal games this season. I promise you do not want to miss it. Also, make sure you drop a like down below so the video gets out to more people in the algorithm. I've been Football. I appreciate you guys all for tuning in, and I hope to catch you all in my next one. Take care.